Alright. So our next one is their name is let me just go up. It's just IHP. And I do remember them. I remember this author page. It is very confusing. It's not really confusing. It's just it's all set into like the year, the date, you know. But I believe Hammond Anvil 2217 was the most recent one we read from them. 2217. Yeah, the war at the beach with the god, the broken god and thunder. Yeah, that's pretty epic one. That pretty epic one. We have now the Pen Is Mightier. The Pen Is Mightier. I hope to Christ we don't have any like monster logs left, because that 2-hour reading really killed me. Like it's already like 4 hours of reading, and we have 3 more to go. This is of course one of the third. Up to class save, special procedures. -1 is to be stored in a medium-sized 35-liter aquarium tank filled with water, taken from either a Dustmary pool or line aquarium, which is to be inspected weekly for flaws in the tank. Secondary and tertiary tanks are to be kept to store. -1 doing primary tank maintenance. Lakes in Cornwall, UK and North Wales respectively. -2 is to be kept in a climate-controlled case meant to preserve skeletal structures, and to be cleaned and inspected for damage immediately after each test is conducted with it. Use of -2 with other memory or record affecting SCPs is permitted with approval from 052. A description. -1 is the remains of a long sword with a 6. Let me read that again. -1 is the remains of a long sword with a 56 cm hilt and a partial blade approximately 40 cm in length, estimated to be approximately 43% of its original size. Carbon dating has shown that the hilt and cross guard of the sword date to approximately the 4th century CE. However, the metal used in the blade dates to approximately 3.2 billion BCE. That's beyond. -1 is in a severe state of disrepair as a result of being submerged in water for at least 1,200 years. -1's primary anomaly manifests when a subject makes contact with the hilt of the sword. Following this, all records pertaining to the subject will gradually be stored in a manner that reflects positively on the subject, giving wildly different accounts to their life over a period of time. Immediately after coming into contact with -1, birth certificates will have altered dates, spelling of names, and in some cases gender. Typically, individuals who have their birth dates altered to be more significant dates, such as July 7th, October 31st, December 25th, or February 14th. Okay. Making you like a more like. Probably making you like an important character somehow. Within 1 year, educational records will show that the individual scored highly on tests and grading, if applicable, and will occasionally claim a subject went to 2 or more different educational institutions in the same span of time. In addition, subjects lacking a college education will be shown to have at least a master's degree of some form. The subject's knowledge will not change regardless of what their records show. So if they're a big ass idiot, even though they have all these like degrees, doesn't mean they won't know anything. Within 5 years of, if applicable, subjects' financial records, including bank statements and tax records, will show them as being wealthy, with a net value of at least 750,000 American dollars. Within 10 years, record will show the subjects being a prominent candidate in some form of political campaign, with inconsistent records of them either winning or losing to the candidates they were opposing. If a win, it will be in landslide election. If a loss, it will be by a small margin. Memories of individuals that have voted in elections with which the subject was allegedly a candidate in have no recollection of them existing. Finally, death certificates will not reflect the actual cause of death of the subject, subjects will invariably have died in some form of combat and die from causes such as sword blows, bullets, and arrows fatally impacting. Usually, most accounts only agree on the fact that the subject held -1 at some point in their life. Furthermore, when -1 is not submerged in water taken from either Dosemary Pool or Lynn Ogwen, the metal of the blade will regenerate at a rate of approximately 15 mm per day and rust will begin to flake off the blade. While no negative consequences are believed to occur if -1 regenerates fully, it is being kept submerged as per the containment procedures as a precaution. But there's no negative. -2 is an item previously believed to be unrelated to the SCP 2307 anomaly. -2 is a shamanistic crown carved from the skull of a horse, believed to have been worn during rituals in the 5th and 7th century Britain. -2 is in poor condition with several fractures in the bone as a result of her age and repeated use in the recent years. -2, when worn, gives complete immunity to memory alteration, including all classes of amnestics and all forms of cognitive hazardous record alteration, such as those exhibited by -1. All memories experienced while wearing -2 are retaining an eidetic level. Welcome back. I'm still reading, it's been 4 hours. -2 was previously classified as E9382-U and was used in experiments involving memory and record altering anomalies. Following tests 19, it was released as a component of SCP 2307. Test 19. Hypothesis: use of E9382-U in conjunction with SCP 2307 will allow either for records pertaining to the subject to be unaltered or for the records to be altered at will. If records are indeed able to be altered, the subject will attempt to modify the birth certificate so that it reads that they were born exactly 1 year before the date listed. Test subject, so D19, born 8th 15th 1977. Okay, test. D19 reacts with some level of disgust at the prospect of wearing E9382-U, stating that he doesn't like freaky bone stuff. D19 says he will comply if he is given extra dessert ration. Request granted. Subject puts on E9382-U. Well, that was easy. I refuse to wear something this gross unless you give me extra dessert. Yeah, sure, go ahead. Yeah. Subject is then instructed to remove SCP-2307 from its container. Subject briefly complains of hands getting wet before exclaiming and dropping SCP-2307 on the floor 5 seconds after removing it from its container. When asked the reason for this action, subject was given this statement: I was holding the damn thing. I was on a horse, and there was an army around me. Not a big army, maybe 60 people. All of them with crosses on their armor. Some guys was next to me with his hat indicating E9382-U on his head. Tell me what I had to do to win. Testing was suspended following the statement. As of the 5th, 21st, 2015, 5 years after the experiment was conducted, no alteration of D19's records have occurred. Pardon. Conclusion: further cross-testing with 2 items is deemed necessary. Addendum: the following document collects statements given by D19, who has been rendered exempt from D-class reassignment for the purpose of study. Statements are listed in the order collected and appear to be mostly about a single individual, with the exception of statements 42, 51, 57, and 59, which is listed separately. I was in bed with my wife. Well, not my wife, but someone's wife. She felt like mine. Ugh, that's gross to say. She and I were talking about making a kid, but not with her. She couldn't have no kids anymore, after she got hit in the tummy with an arrow. I know I told someone to put the arrow in there, because otherwise she would have had kids with my best friend. What the fuck? I couldn't breathe. It was the scariest experience of my fucking life. I felt like I was trapped in a fucking coffin. And it lasted for so long. I couldn't breathe the whole time. But I was still alive. I remember some guys speaking Latin, but I couldn't see them, and I knew they would put me there. And the coffin shook, and I heard some guy speaking. I don't know. It sounded like gibberish. Bill Poi ban tongue o clade on food bringing. RT, probably not English. Phonetic translation has shown this to be Welsh phrase. Bit poi binacti nucleative hun von bringing it here. Well, translated to mean he who pulls his blade shall be the land's king. Ah, yes. There was a guy with this horse thing on his head dancing around the fire in a big wood hall. He would throw things into the fire and they would form images of people. People that I knew I had to find before someone else did. They were warriors and there were a ton of them. And I remember thinking I was going to need a big hall for a table. You don't think? Nah. I was cutting off someone's head with a sword like an execution. I guess you guys know a lot about those, huh? It looked like the sword I was holding, but bright and shiny and new. Nothing fancy, just a really, really fucking sharp sword. It only took one blow to cut off his head. The hell is that thing made of? Adamantium? Little X-Men reference. That was scary. That was fucking scary. I was in a battle with one of my men, fighting. Elves, I think. That's the only way I can describe them. They wanted my sword, and my guy. It was about 10 feet tall. At one point, he grabbed one of the elves and ate him. He did something in French, and I laughed. I laughed at someone getting their head eaten. The fuck is wrong with me? I was dying. I knew I was going to die. One of my sons had stabbed me, and I killed him first, but I was hurt bad. So I had my men take me to the lake. This is Arthur. When Mordred stabbed him, I remember that I had spent time with my sister there. Her name was Morkent. When I was young. What kind of name is that for a girl? Morkent. I just wanted to see the place one last time before I died. Then something came out of the water. She was beautiful. She looked even better than my wife did. Her skin was kind of blue. Her nose was flat, and she had a weird feather thing in her hair. God, I'd love to see her again. She wasn't human, I know that much. She asked me if I wanted to keep my legacy alive. I said yes. She asked for the sword, and I gave it to her. And she promised me she'd keep it safe. She kissed me, said goodnight, and I was gone. A lot of okay, so this is all pure King Arthur stuff, and so this part of well, not my wife, but someone's wife. That's definitely Lancelot. I assume. I couldn't stop, guy. A messenger came from the woods and told me that one of my best friends had died. I kept crying over the damn skull I was wearing, and it took me days to calm down. I sat in my bedroom the whole time, just staring at the ceiling. I've never been that sad. I hope I never am again. I felt like I couldn't breathe for so long, I was in that coffin again, I think. Then I was pulled out of the ground. Wait, is this all like this? Oh, is this all the same person, isn't it? Maybe. No, I don't think so. Yeah, these are different people. Yeah. Then I was pulled out of the ground, and I crunched so hard. Metal against stone is not a good sound. And then I was someone else. I was just a kid, maybe 11 or 12. And I was holding the sword with both hands. I took it out just so I could fight in some tournament that my brother had gotten sick for. People pointed at me as I went, and I thought I was in the trouble. Then some old guy with a horse head over his face came up to me and said I was a ruler. Son of a bitch. Statement from 42. I was an old man, and I've been walking for a long time. I eventually walked up to a rock with a sword in it, just sitting there in the middle of nowhere, and I touched it. Then, BAM! I was knocked on my ass by lightning, and something spoke to me. It told me to find a boy to make king and to spread her word all over. I said I would. Then this is the first time this has happened. I was somewhere else, talking with the boy, who was now a man. I tried to persuade him to change his religion, but he said he would banish me if I tried teaching him my pagan faith again. I don't know what I was even preaching. Something about machines, I think. Statement 51. I was in some kind of religious guy monk, maybe. I remember I had 80 ropes. I found the sword after it had washed up to the shore. And then I figured that it wasn't a sword. It was like the tip of a giant pen. The stylus, I think I called it. I went back to the monastery with it, and when I got there, I found a scroll that I had written that changed. We cried out about Apocrypha and an unholy force altering the scrolls. We tried to destroy the pen, piece by piece, but the more we destroyed, the more things we had altered. And then the lightning started. It struck all over the place, and friends and other monks were dying. It was horrible. Eventually the monastery caught fire, and I was the only one to escape. A voice, something grinding like nails on the chalkboard mixed with rusty gears, told me what to do with what was left over of the pen. I took it to the blacksmith, and he made it into a sword for me. And then just stuck in a rock in the middle of a stone circle, when I thought that nobody would ever find it. From what I've seen, this me was an idiot. Statement 57.
I was that weird water woman this time. The one I told you about, in the one where I died.
I forgot the voice I gave for that one.
I lived in the lake all my life. Some monks, I think they were from the same order as the last guy, came to me asking me to keep something safe for them. They begged and bargained with me, saying that something unholy was upon the land. I told them I did not care of their mortal ways. Hope was not mine. And then they said a name, McCain, or McCann, or McCann, who knows. I told them I would...
Oh, should have the broken heart. Okay.
I told them I would agree to whatever they wanted me to do. They had sent someone disguised as the son of the king who had the sword, who had apparently been made with his half-sister, Il, to keep him in battle. They said that they would bless my leg and one of my sister's legs to hold the sword of Mekan in it, so that it couldn't make new legends, whatever that means. In exchange, I'll be written about as a queen among fairies, or fae, or whatever. The lady of the lake, they called me. I like the sound of that, son of a bitch. And statement 59.
I was riding the world of the world on the beach using lightning. My people ran around below me, gathering up the glass from where the lightning struck, and transcribing my word onto their own scrolls, where they would make my holy books. Then, one day, I was hit by something, and my pen broke. I managed to make most of it on the land. Most of it on the land on the beach, but some of it didn't. A big chunk of my pen landed a quarter of the way across the world, somewhere where I didn't care about it. And then I tried to break it. I didn't like that. So I tried to burn them with lightning, and eventually they gave in. I probably told you the rest of this from different perspectives. One thing I remember though, remember that lady of the lake girl? I remember doing something to the sword, kind in like iron, so I wouldn't hurt her or anyone like her. I don't know why I did it. I kind of remember thinking it was for safekeeping. And then I saw myself holding the sword with that hat on, and then I saw the whole thing over and over again, and over and over and over until I finally dropped it. I just now realized this was all the same person. This was all like one guy. Yeah. I didn't think that. I thought the statements were like different people. No, it was all D19. Hey, at least, you know, kept it interesting. Okay, so it was basically just going through like different moments in King Arthur's life. King Arthur seems to be like always like Excalibur, and King Arthur seems to be a beloved thing to use in even the SCP Foundation, because I'm pretty sure this is not the first one that had to do with King Arthur. Living through King Arthur's memories. I think that would be kind of cool, but it might mess around with your perspective on what is real and what not isn't.